know what it is. Funk Flex, Bell Bib Devoe.
Yeah,
Hey,
yo,
let's go. It's fully
man, we've been
official
trying to
now,
get up
man.
in here for a minute, man.
Of course, of New Edition. You know, it's all of that's still going on.
Yeah.
New Edition, the Bell Bib Devoe, it's just different money, different bank accounts. They split up. There's a lot of cash here. It must be amazing. What's that feel like to still getting this bread?
Man.
I'm gonna keep it 100 thing. Still getting this bread.
Yeah.
2017.
Man, come on, man.
2017.
Sometimes when we going through a little turmoil and, you know, we might be at rehearsal or something, and I'll just sit back and go, man, I'm in New Edition, man.
Yeah.
I'm in BBD, man. This
Yeah.
shit is, sorry, man. This is dope, man.
It's
this
cracking,
is like so
right?
fly, man. I ain't got no problems. I'm in BBD, yo.
Right.
Serious.
Yeah, it's an amazing
And
game,
you got
man.
consistency, man, in the business that will chew you up and spit you out real quick, son. We done seen people come and go over the 33 plus that we've been in the game, man, but we still riding.
Right. You know, I'm gonna show my age today. I don't even care, because I normally don't.
Oh, we sitting right next to
We
you,
right
man.
with you.
I went to that skate rink. Shout out to anybody who went to the skate key on Allerton Avenue in the Bronx.
Nice. I saw that on your gram, yeah.
Bro, I remember when that record dropped in there. It was the first time I ever heard a record get played 4 or 5 times a night. Like, I had not experienced that before.
Right.
And it get the same energy with the same amount of people. Like the people who just heard it, you know, a little while ago.
Right.
And then, I mean, of course, the hits kept coming, kept going, the reinventions, the music. I mean, I know you guys put out artists. I mean, I know that sounds, of course, like a very good bank account.
Yes.
As I'm going through all of that, man.
Right.
But I mean, congratulations too, new project.
So the Three Stripes album, that's the title of the album. Bell Bib DeVoe. Of course, that whole week on the 23rd, we got the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Right.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you,
Which is
man.
major. Thank you, man.
That's the New Edition star,
That's the
correct?
New
That
Edition
was the
star.
Yeah.
And then, of course, BET.
BET's
They spent so much bread,
Yeah,
man.
I saw posters and billboards.
Yeah.
They spent so much
Yeah, they
bread.
did.
And no expense.
Yes.
Mike said, you know, when we initially inked the deal, you know, they had a certain amount of paper. And, you know, there was a couple little question marks, but the fact that they really
Went out and raised it.
embraced, this project, and they felt like we cannot miss with this situation. So they went from this level of paper, they shot it through the roof, man. And
They went and found the money.
yeah,
Thank
sure
God,
did.
man.
Yeah.
Blessed we here, man.
Yeah.
Thank God. You know, because of you guys have been in the business for so long and sustained in the business, because there's people in the business that's not sustaining. We're going to keep
Right.
an eye on it.
Right.
But, you know, I would love to know, like, let me see, what's it like how, you know, Prince just passed.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what was your guys' take on that, you know, outside looking in and also being in the business, you know, with everything that happened from him overdosing and then, like, what did you guys, when you first saw it, what'd you think?
Man, we just was trying to figure out what was the truth. It was a collapse in the crib. You got the call. You know, you just wanted to make sure it wasn't nothing funny. You didn't really know. You know, and for us, we did Do Me, which is our second single off our first album, Flex. But when we were in concert on our first tour, we would do the slow version, Do Me, the Prince. So it was just, he was just close to us. And when we went to Minnesota and made the New Edition Heartbreak album, we always wanted to meet him, and we went to Fifth Avenue. We hung out on Saturday nights. And he just was a big influence, man. And then he had a mean stage presence. And the chicks, he was short, and it was just, Purple Rain was just a movie ahead of its time, man. So you fell for it after Mike and Prince. That was almost like the 1 and 2.
Right.
I mean, what was your thing?
Right. I mean, it's like it kind of hits home in a sense where it's like, as an artist, as a performer, you're like, wow, the pressures of the business. It's like it becomes your life, and trying to find a balance of where that detachment comes from just being a human being and being a family man, being a husband, being a brother, uncle, or whatever, where to kind of let go and balance the fact that, okay, cool, this is my life, this is my blessing, but at some point, you know, I have to just be a person and not let it take over my life.
Correct.
And he was opening up eyes, Flex.
Yeah.
Prince was telling us independent. Watch how you use my name, my license.
Right.
He was taking
He
the
was screaming
stance.
that early.
Yeah,
he was the first one to put that album on
Yeah.
the internet and sell it.
Yeah, he was
I
telling
didn't give it
us
away. I
something.
think he sold a couple.
Yeah, he changed the
gave away
game.
some.
And
Yeah,
then he
changed
did a
the
few
game in
things
the way,
first.
and the way
But,
where
bro,
he
hold on,
was
I'ma let
selling
you
his
go.
record along with his ticket sale, you know, with his concert joint.
But
that
Ron,
was crazy
to keep
too.
it real, you know how Flex now they got the pop-up clothing?
Mm-hmm.
Prince used to do the pop-up concerts.
Yeah.
He was the one that said, I'm going to be at such and such, and you would hear about an hour before.
Okay.
And then sometimes he would go on tour, and instead of playing the Madison, he would go down to Soho.
Okay.
He was moving in a different space, and he was trying to show you how to do the direct connect. He's really the originator of the direct connect to your audience.
Now, with Prince and with Michael Jackson, and both having drugs involved, I mean, what could they have done? What could have been done better? Like, why does that happen? How could two stars like that overdose on drugs? Like, how does that happen? How does that, like, you know what I mean? Like, what could, and how could it be prevented?
You know what? I think one key factor is like when you're put up on this pedestal, right? It's like at the same time you're this human being. You know, you have your struggles, your personal struggles, and finding the people in your life or that one person that you feel like you can trust, that can relate to your situation, where you can really just open up and lean on and get that encouragement and get that support from, it's a challenge for a lot of us being on this side. And on the outside looking in, it just looks like, come on, man, you got this life, you got it all going for you. Why don't you just get it together and just stop doing what's taking you down? You know, but being in it, you know, it's like it's a whole different experience, you know. Yeah.
Once again, congratulations on the Walk of Fame star, of course, which is amazing.
Thank you.
Will there be another New Edition project anytime soon?
Oh yes, man. That is the mother.
More
That's the
money.
reason why we have a Bobby Brown and the Ralph Tresvant. That's the reason why Johnny Gill had the platform that he had to go and sell the records that he sold with My. And then of course Bell Biv DeVoe, man. So that's in our hearts and minds. Every opportunity that we get a chance to revisit New Edition, we're there. But it's always good to have a little bit of space, because then, you know, if it wasn't for that space and the solo careers, then you wouldn't have the depth that you have, that New Edition has, you know. I mean, you people know us as a group, but they know the individuals within that group as well.
Now, I've been a fan since the beginning, you know, and lucky enough to be in the music business. And you guys are still in the music business. And I've always felt, just my outside looking, I have nothing to base this on. I've always felt a little bit of outsideness of Johnny Gill from the group. That's me. That's just always me looking forward, you know, and it's me as a fan.
It's all
And
cool.
I mean, like, is there a like that, like, is he a little bit outside from the group, or is it like maybe because he wasn't there from the very beginning? He's not from Boston, correct?
No,
That's
he's
what
not
it
from
is.
Boston. I think that's what it is, because when we all were inspired, so to speak, you know, it all came together. We were friends, hanging together, playing the same basketball league. We liked the same things. We dressed the same, you know, and we were into the same things.
And we could talk in codes.
Yeah, exactly. So you know how close friends are, you
Like
know.
everybody you grew up with, right?
Yeah, we could talk in
Exactly.
codes.
Right.
So when we fell into that style, you know, it was everybody's swagger together. Him being from D.C.
Okay, which I
know,
did not know.
Exactly. Yeah, he wasn't from Boston, wasn't from Roxbury, so it was a little different.
But you knew each other before he entered the group.
Yeah, we knew each other
not just
from-
of him, but
Yeah.
knew him.
Absolutely, we knew him from running into him, doing different shows with him.
Now we're keeping it 100 today, my brother. I'm just keeping it 100 because I know y'all know. You know,
It's all love.
since day one, you know, and I want to, after I ask the question, I'm going to chime in. You know, Johnny Gill's sexuality has always been in question. But I want to say, for me, outside looking in, I didn't see the question. I'm keeping it 100. Like, I did not see, except maybe him being quiet.
Right.
But amongst people, it's always been a question. How does that affect the group? And how you and everything that comes with it.
You want to chime in?
I mean,
Yeah,
it
he
doesn't.
gave- he gave-
Yeah.
okay, that was one of the signs of growing up together, being able to-
Doesn't
I was
really
just trying to
fit.
give him a chance to, you know, so I'm not doing all the talk.
He said, "Can you pass it on? Can you pass it on?"
I mean, it doesn't affect the group at all. You know, they say any kind of publicity to a certain extent is good publicity.
Absolutely.
You know, people are talking about you. They talking about you, you know.
Okay.
And, you know, we're not behind any closed doors. We see Johnny with some of the flyers out there. So, I mean, you know,
exactly.
that's all we can say.
There you go.
Know, ultimately, you know what I'm saying? I can't even really speak for Rick behind closed doors because when he goes to the room at night, you know what I'm saying? That's Rick's room, you know?
This is a good subject to branch off to because
Wow.
I've always wanted to know.
Wow.
Look, let's do this right.
Let's go.
I know you guys are probably married now.
Yes.
That life does not exist anymore.
No, it doesn't.
We're talking
Put that
about
out
past times here.
Right,
Exactly.
But fellas,
Yes.
how was that knocking down going down when y'all was in them young ages,
Man.
in the marinas?
Yeah. Yes. I mean,
His face is giving it all up, bro.
Yes.
It's just interesting because your
How
whole,
interested was it, my brother?
It's cute. Your Q&A is heavy tonight.
Yes,
I
it
see
is.
where you going, Flex.
Yeah.
You got to look at it this way, man. We was every young girl coming up, rather she was with an MC or an R&B dude, she was looking at someone with a poster on the wall. So our throwdown game, we've been around some of the baddest.
Yeah.
And we've been and some of them came up, you know, like Ron ran into Jill Scott and she was like, yo, you always been my husband. I had a few hip hop situations. I won't put them on spot. I admired them. They admired me. And to be honest, but I'm going to be honest with you. Listen, I'm going to be honest. But the MVP of the A-list.
Hey, man, you know, hey.
The MVP of the A-list.
Congratulations, my brother.
Yeah, hands down.
Look.
We just gonna bow down to the dude. Hats
the
off.
A-list.
For sure. Mr. Ricky, a.k.a. Slick Bell.
That's the MVP.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
named
Holds
Slick?
it down.
Yeah, that's the MVP.
For sure. We used to have battles with this dude, man. I mean, we stayed in all kinds of different hotels here in the city, and there was this one specific hotel. I don't know if it was the Two-Door.
The two
joint.
Two-Door,
Back in the day, you know, because we
44th.
was here every weekend, right? And there was one weekend where we just came up on Rick, like just knocking on his door, like, yo, come out the damn room, son. This is the last time you gonna backdoor the situation and try and like
Team
snatch.
effort.
Yeah. Try and Slick. If you had a bad one,
I
he
was
was
Deion
figuring
Sanders.
out a way how to pull her away from
I was
you.
Deion.
somehow.
I was Deion
Fellas.
Sanders. Yeah.
My question's not done on this
No,
subject.
it's
I'm gonna
not
get
done. Let's
honest.
go.
How many members in the group? 5, sometimes 6. Like 4 or 5. Wait, total.
Yeah.
Wait,
6.
6. Well,
Yeah.
because now
Full
everyone's
strength.
in the group. Okay,
Right.
cool. 6 guys and there's touring and there's everything. What did the number get up to sometime with the amount of girls then? I know it's women now, but we're not concerned with now. We're concerned with that. Like, was like y'all doing the group parties?
let me tell
like
you,
the,
it was like
the whole,
this.
like
It
how
was-
like how is it moving, bro?
Let me
This
tell
is
you.
prior to
This
today.
is prior. Let me tell you. It was something.
This
Let me
is
just give you an
prior.
example. For the first couple years, you know,
Yeah, let's talk about those years that no one's concerned.
Exactly.
Nobody's feelings.
Right.
because what happened was the first couple years from the age of 14 to 16 and a half, they kept us in our room. We didn't see anybody. It was just like locked down, 3 in one room, 2 in another room, security all over the place. No one could get in or out. When we reached about 17 and a half, we went on stage. At the end of the show, we announced the hotel where we were at.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait,
So at
Hold on,
20,000
hold on,
people,
No doubt. Listen, there's a party at the Marriott.
There's a party at the Marriott. We would
There's
make a
party
song
at
out of
the
it,
Marriott.
you know.
And it was real.
and we
It
would
was
have
real.
security. So there you go.
wow.
Yes.
Wait, wow.
Yeah.
And
that
so
was-
we had
that was the
security. They had the
20,000.
walkie-talkies. We had the walkie-talkies on the balcony. They're down, going, hey, right, go over red.
Yeah,
There you go, right there.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And then it got to
So-
a point where we didn't even wait till we got to the hotel. We'd be on stage, you know, looking
the middle
of the
routine,
deep,
yeah.
Lining
calling
them up.
security over like, yo, red dress, go on ahead and
Third
make that
row,
happen
yeah,
real
do
quick.
it.
He said, "Go on ahead and make that happen."
Yo, it was crazy.
The pickings.
Okay,
come on,
hey,
man.
this is prior. It's not now.
This
Let's
is
put my hat
prior,
back
you
on.
know,
I like
yeah.
this type
You're
of
just
talk.
some fellas, you know,
Yeah, man.
talking, you know,
It's in the
locker room
movie.
talk.
I've been
It's in the
to some of
movie.
them Reese's concerts. Now keep my mouth shut. 'Cause I just see what goes on in the crowd. They're very excited. Must be nice when they grow up and come back and hang around. Must be nice. Must be nice. Okay, so Bobby Brown,
Right.
of course. I mean, beyond talented. I mean, with his own project within the group, everything else. But you know, because I've never talked to you guys about this. Like, but sometimes there is a distraction part of the whole thing. I guess that comes to Bobby Brown. How does that affect the group when you do have those distraction moments or things that you know that may not be what you guys are into, but it's happening and it's in the press? How do you guys handle it?
Man, you know, we support him, rather if it's good or bad. And Rick, with him being in Cali with Bob, they have a lot of things that they will get together and share.
Right.
You know, there's a couple of personal things they talk about, Flex. And Bob is really like he's a guy that knows everything that's going on, even when it looks like he's swerving. He's realized that, you know, the paparazzi is watching his every move, so he plays the game of an A-list star with free publicity. We always said, Bob, he gets shit that people pay for. You feel me? He don't need a PR. He's his own PR. And to us, we take that as an advantage because no matter what he's going through, we don't wish death on his family members, things he went through. But if y'all like him that much and it relates to the box office, then it's good business.
Exactly.
Now, if he's going through something and we look at the box office and it's not good business, then we want to know, has this become a liability?
Exactly.
So we talk to Bob and say, look, we're going on the road. This is what's to be expected, money. This is what it is. And there's been a few situations over our career where we told him, you got to be in practice. You're going to have to do it like this. And Flex, he was at rehearsal before us.
Right.
You feel me? Practice is at 4, Bob was there at 3:15. Because he understand in order to come back and get this paper, this is what has to be expected. Because one, we got to start at the first date money, and we need to get the pickup to the last date. That's what's important to us.
Right.
And so we deal with him from that point of view. And then when he gets out and wilds out on stage, to us, that shit is entertainment. Right. You always got to have a wild card.
Right.
You know?
I follow him on the gram, and I respect the effort that he does, because you could always see him trying to keep it right.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
I always see it from, like, you know, and I always respect that from him, and I see him around sometimes. And I wasn't as verbal as maybe as I'm going to be today.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand his struggle, and I see him always placing it in the right place. I was disappointed only once in everything that's ever happened.
Right.
I was disappointed in him a little bit in the laundry that I heard from him concerning Whitney after her death.
Right.
And you know, I was taken back by it. I was disappointed in that part. You know, I didn't want to know it. I didn't need to know it. I didn't care to know it.
Right.
And you know,
You mean in the book?
I think it was in the book.
In the book.
And I wanted that image to just be
Yeah.
whatever image I had. I mean, I want to stick with that, you know.
Right, right,
and
right.
that was the only thing in everything that he's ever
Yeah.
moved around or doing. How did Whitney passing, when you guys saw that, being so close to both of them, how was that
Yeah.
for you guys? Wow.
It was definitely a tough situation, man. We were just happy that we were on the road with Bob at the time, you know, and just being able to kind of give him that bear hug that he needed, you know, because the measure of a man is in the stuff that he has to go through, man, and to see the strength that Bob has, man. I mean, he's lost a lot of individuals in a short amount of time. His mom, you know, his dad, Whitney, and then his daughter, you know. So like you said, nobody is perfect under the sun. So to be able to go through a lot of the stuff that he's been through and to release at times and not know, you know, what to say or what to do in certain situations, man, when you've gone through the magnitude of death and different things that this man has been through, man, you got to give him a pass at, you know, various times, because, man, who's to know, you know, what you would be able to take or what I would be able to take. But I say, you know, to Bob,
we
like,
was
you
on
know,
tour.
yeah, that's
We
what
was
I'm
on
saying.
tour.
Like, yeah,
Memphis.
everywhere,
You know,
yeah,
I've only
in
lost
Nashville, Tennessee.
Right.
you
That's a
know?
lot of people to lose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah,
that
and the
dude is
thing
like
is-
Samson, you know,
And the
ultimately.
thing is, too, Flex, we was in Memphis, and him and Ralph went out to go buy some derbies, man, and he got the call. So to be honest with you, Ralph was Bob's strength. Bob fell into Ralph's arms.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he went on stage and performed that night, and he was trying to stay on the road. We got to Nashville, like Ron was saying, and
Yeah.
the whole TMZ and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Too much.
They was at the arena. We couldn't even get out the bus, man. It was just sickening. And the crazy thing is, when they had the funeral in Newark, where we knew we had to cuff him a little more, is he tried to go there to pay the respects with his kids, and they put him through all that with his family. He ended up getting back on the bus and meeting us in Foxwoods, and he performed that night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So he's that dude too. That's the Jekyll and the Hyde of the situation.
It's Hot 97 Funk Flex, Bell Biv DeVoe. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and letting me get in your business.
Man,
Thank
can
you,
tell
man.
New York to tri-state the truth, man.
Well,
Please. July 9th, 2016, we dropped a record called Run.
Yeah.
Mean.
And the first cat to play Run is right here on the microphone.
Yes,
man.
Right.
indeed. You know what
And
I'm
for
saying?
you playing that record, man, it got us a deal,
Yeah.
got us some money.
Yeah.
We've been doing a crazy promotional tour, and we just want to tell you thank you.
I knew what it was, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you,
I
man.
knew what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys make good music.